This E3 wrap-up is presented by State Farm.
All right, this is the final moments of the final day of E3 2013. Tara and Max are joining me. Rev3 Games, Vivid Touch booth. I'm going to miss saying all these things very, very shortly. Anyway, so we want to do kind of a final wrap-up. Not just your thoughts about today, but really your thoughts about E3, the game industry, consoles. I mean, Tara, what's kind of your big takeaway from all this?
You know, there have been a lot of great games here. I have to say I wasn't overly impressed by a lot of the Xbox One exclusive showings. I'm not exactly sure why that is either. I don't know if it was the games. It's not the hardware itself. It's just the fact that I don't feel like people have really learned how to leverage that technology yet.
Similarly, outside of the indie stuff, I feel that way about Sony. I feel that both Microsoft and Sony have played it very conservative. It's actually EA and Ubisoft that are doing more aggressive and innovative things that they're going to be benefiting from with these systems.
Well, I mean, I think it's also with new hardware. There's sort of you got to do sort of baby steps, you know. And I think we're going to see some really cool stuff next E3.
Yeah, exactly.
I absolutely agree.
I would say,
and we'll probably see stuff we saw here next E3.
I would say for launch title announcements and offerings, or launch window. Some of the stuff like Destiny, The Division, things like that are just. They're really cool to see right out the gate. To be like, you can buy this thing and it will play this thing, and you're like, okay, I'm interested in these things together. I mean, it's
funny. The consoles themselves aren't exciting me. I think because I don't think the full story is being told about either of them. I think there's matters like game pricing that could have an interesting role somewhere down the line. But the games that I'm seeing, I'm like, hold on, there really is some experimentation. There is some idea of like, we've got to push this forward, both as a business and as sort of a creative act.
I think a good example of that is Project Spark, which is I guess it's been compared to Little Big Planet. You know, you basically
it's a creation set.
It's a creation game, but the sheer amount of things that you can do in it are absolutely mind-blowing to me. Like, I went to the demo this morning, and it's literally like you're programming a game, but it's an intuitive interface, and anything can happen. They showed how you could make a working keyboard in the game, and you can play it. That's just a thing you can do.
Yeah.
It's not even like built in. Like, it's not like, oh, here have the keyboard template. It's like they literally use things that pre-existed in the game to make a functioning keyboard. It's like complete.
It's one of those. My only question is, does Microsoft have that audience that gravitates towards stuff like that? It's always been this identity issue I have from Microsoft. Like, Sony sold a lifestyle brand, I think also back when they had Walkman, and that Microsoft needs to do that with Xbox. They have their own challenges with their messaging, but can they help fashion something that's like, that's indicative of the Xbox brand?
I was talking to Scott Bromley from Tech Fate News about this, and he was saying that with the Project Spark thing, that's the kind of thing you can do amazing, wonderful things in it, but you have to spend several hours in order to make that happen. And I feel like the people who are gonna dedicate that time probably are already head over heels into Minecraft, or I don't know, the Unreal Development Kit or something. They're already screwing around with the nuts and bolts. On a scaled back version of that, I checked out Disney Infinity, which is, I mean, it's reinventing the toy. It's easy to say, oh, it's Disney Skylanders, but there's definitely a much
more to it than that. Much more.
The sandbox mode is absolutely incredible. I mean, it's an open world, 4-player online co-op where you get the toy, you put it on the thing, and you have the option to just create whatever you want. It is like having toys in front of you, but they're virtual, which I think is really. I mean,
well, it's nice, and I think I prefer it over Skylanders in terms of what that purchase gets you is more rewarding. You unlock things by playing the game.
Yes.
They go into your toy box. There's incentive to get more of the toys.
Simultaneously, I mean, just from a strictly business standpoint, what really interests me is that obviously licensed games, not an impressive thing. This is like kind of a modular, you can do modular licensed tie-ins. I mean, when the new Star Wars comes out, it would surprise me a whole lot if we didn't see Star Wars Episode 7 Disney Infinity playset come out.
Oh, I mean, the fact that they already have Lone Ranger, untested movie that may perform very poorly at the box office. There's promotional things, but then they also can get, I'm expecting Disney princesses, and then they will make so much more money than they ever had. They won't know what to do.
I want a Sanrio one. I love Sanrio.
Well, I mean, Disney's
There's
on a
already a
buying
Hello
spree.
Kitty
Maybe they'll
MMO.
just buy up Sanrio, and then they'll have the empire of all things at all times for everyone.
I mean, I like video games for two reasons. I either like them as toys or as worlds, and I feel like they very frequently fall in one of those categories. Sometimes a combination thereof. I checked out Lego Marvel Superheroes, which is like it's the same thing Lego's been doing, except they're just making it more and more interesting, and that's got a character customization thing where you've got your little Lego minifigure, and you can be like, I want Wolverine's claws and Magneto's helmet, and he can do the claw slashing thing, but he can also lift up objects. You can make him not wearing any pants. It's mixing and matching of the Lego pieces, which is at its core why people like Lego to begin with. There's over like 150 little guys you can play as. It's kind of an open world thing. There's a hub world you can explore. I just like the option to really be let loose in a world and go play in it, and I think it's fun to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, to that point about the idea of world, that's what I've been noticing more and more. We were talking about The Division, but then I went and played Need for Speed Rivals. I also played The Crew. A lot of these racing games, and they're helping demonstrate how we may need to recalibrate the way we're looking at games. That I don't want to say it's a service, because I think it's a little bit too reductive about what it's doing. But it's like, when we're saying how much do I get out of this, so multiplayer or single player, that's kind of going away. And it's like, what world would I like to play in that may over time, and not even with a formalized DLC package, it'll change, it will alter. That's how they're going to get people to not return games. It's not by blocking used game sales, it's by just making a game that you don't feel like you want to necessarily step away from it, that it doesn't really have that kind of an ending.
It's creating a place, and you look at the last generation. The last generation rolled out when the internet was a very different kind of place. We didn't have social networks in place the way they do now. I mean, MySpace was sort of around. Facebook was if you had a college email address. Now it's like everybody is connected to that constantly. Everyone carries around a smartphone in their pocket, and creating consoles that can make it's not just like, hey, it's multiplayer, get people on your friends list and shoot guns at them. It's like, what if everybody was just sort of constantly connected, and you wanted to just be in the same world together?
I think a lot of the problems we're hearing about, anxieties about always online and things like that, and there are real issues with it, but that it's envisioning games down the line that we can't really think of yet because we're stuck in this current generation. All right, I think it's time for our State Farm Lightning Round. This is where we name something quickly that you think is getting us to a better state of gaming. Tara, I'll start with you.
I gotta say The Witness. I've talked about that game a lot today, but it bears repeating. I love to see games like this, I feel like this is sort of expanding the genre of puzzle games into a much more exploration-based area, and I think it's great. I love it. Right. I don't even know what more to say than that. I love it.
Well, conversely, I played Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z, and I played Shadow Warrior, and I'm very fond of ninjas saying swear words, and I think that that's a great thing. And it's like when I was in 5th grade, if I wrote a wish down and threw it in a bottle and threw it in the ocean, somebody found that bottle and decided to give me games that cater to my inner 5th grader.
You know what, I'm going to say it's slightly different. I hate the phrasing of the question, who won E3? It's like, not a contest. And it's just bad phrasing, but to that answer, Ubisoft. That company, it's just shocked me sometimes that they put out games that say, hey, we are trying to do something next gen. Once again, I'm not saying these games are good, but I'm seeing actual investment into things that do not look like necessarily prettier versions of what we've done before. I think The Division shows that, I think The Crew shows that, and I think it's also there with Watch Dogs. I just find it so interesting that it's a third party, and to a lesser extent EA, with Titanfall and for Need for Speed, that are really trying to push things forward, whereas the people that have the hardware themselves and know it are kind of playing a lot closer to the vest.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I want to just thank you two again for all of your hard work during this week. I want to thank all the people that are behind those cameras that have made this. It's a small group of people that got around 80 videos
There's
up.
2 guys back
there. 4 days.
3 guys back there right
over
now.
4 days. Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. I thank all of you for watching. If you have not seen all of the videos, that's it. There's an empty part of your soul. You need to fill it. Watch them all. Thank you so much. Let's heal. Goodbye.